Alright guys, this is ZCost83 with Junkhouse Entertainment. This is an epic Armageddon battle report. We call them bat reps in the industry. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Anyway, this scenario in this game was sort of a breakout mission. The Eldar had to survive a green tide for 6 turns and escape through a Wraith Gate, which is inside a super heavy tank because Eldar. Get to the force comp here. I had 3 units. I had mixed unit A, show them here, mixed unit B on the sort of leftish flank, and I had 2 swooping hawks which were going to teleport in, so they didn't start the game on the table. This is a common thing. You only had 2 stands. For some reason, it's hard to find these swooping hawk stands for epic. And so we only have 2. I have 1 in another painted army, but we're not using them today. So 2 is what we got. I'm gonna bring them in later. You'll see them. So in the mixed unit A, we got, let's see, this is Guardians, a few stands of Fire Dragons, which are aspect warriors. We got Wraith Guards and Wraith Lords, and if you're an Eldar player, you need to always field both of those pieces at all times. They're great. I also had 2 Shining Spears, jet bikes. It's the Eldar jet bikes. They're good for assaults. They anchored the assaults later. You'll see they did pretty well. They have the ability to hover, so when you're fighting a ground unit, you have the choice of using a firefight or close combat, which is it's always nice. A lot of the times, especially for them, their firefight is a lot better than the close combat. So you get to choose if you have them. And so mixed unit B, we had some more Guardians. These are basically space ninjas. We love Eldar. Some more jet bikes. We got a Farseer on a jet bike and a D cannon on a support platform. Those are also really handy to have in the Eldar army. And again, here's the swooping hawks. Okay, so now on to turn 1. Turn 1, we got, okay, so because Eldar can shoot and move away, we chose to double move, because we're jerks. So we move, shoot with a -1, that's the only penalty there, which is, depending on the army you have, it's not really that much of a penalty. But anyway, so we move, shoot with a -1, and then move back to where we started from, because we're Eldar. We caused blast marker on that opening up, and didn't do much more there. The Orks did the same with the unit in front there, assaulting my first mixed unit A. And they did the same thing, causing a blast marker, and that's the end of the turn. The end of the turn in this, we pick up blast markers, all that stuff. If there's morale, you test it. You played tabletop games before. So actually, no, I forgot to mention, we actually killed a bike. The mixed unit A opens up and kills a bike, causing 2 more blast markers on those Orks in front. So now they have a total of 3 blast markers to start the turn. So when they pick up their blast markers, they're picking up 2 at the end of the turn, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, turn 2. Mixed unit B double moves again, destroys a tank, and moves back, because Eldar, again. Orks bring on the Storm Boys on my right flank. They can only really assault, so they wait. They basically, all they could do is just come in on this turn here. I've already gone. They can't really affect me right then, so my opponent just chose to wait for the next turn. The Orks in front, after another firefight, basically broke and fled away. So that's the end of the first wave there. Pretty good turn 2, if you ask me, if you're Eldar, for winning initiative and everything all the time. By the way, I didn't mention that, but turn 1 and 2, Eldar have 1 initiative, so just remember that. It's very helpful. So basically, when you win initiative, you can choose to go first. I always, of course, you're going to choose to go first. Sometimes it's not always going to help you, but most of the time it is. So on turn 3, win initiative again. That's the 3rd time now. And teleport in the swooping hawks over in a nearby graveyard here. We make those, by the way. Feel free to ask us about it. I teleported kind of far away from the Storm Boys because I can't really affect them right away. Again, like there's a lot of those kinds of choices in this game. It's one of the reasons why I like it. And then a new orc mob shows up in front of the main unit there. Then moving on, I decided to pop off my Overwatch. Basically, if I don't know if you're familiar with the term, but in this game, it's basically your op fire. When you see something, you shoot it. And being in a state of Overwatch means you're ready for anything that comes right there. So I pop off my Overwatch with all those units there up front. Fire Dragon, shooting 15 centimeters with that flamer and ignoring cover. You know, that's always helpful. Flame always helps in these games too. If you don't have something that shoots flames, I don't know what you're doing. He brought a flamer tank up in front of me too. So anyway, back to the turn. They trigger the Overwatch and the Orks advance. The Orks come in. We lose a Guardian. We lose a Guardian stand in the gunfight, but the front's still holding. I retain the initiative on the Swooping Hawks. It's basically just a test on your initiative. I rolled that successfully again because we're Eldar. Just count on a lot of success when I'm talking about these guys. It's just something you're just gonna have to deal with. I have certainly playing against them bitterly. Anyway, I retain on the Swooping Hawks and move them over by my right flank to help support the imminent Stormboy assault. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but there's a whole mess of Storm Boys on. Those are jump packs just hanging out right next to me on my right flank. They basically move over there and brace for impact for the counter move into the Storm Boy assault. We call this basically the follow-up charge. Basically bookended the Orks with Wraith Lords, and it happened, and it helped a great deal in the end there. You'll see here there's on each side of the Orks and their assault I have a Wraith Lord, and they're just doling out the pain. The Storm Boys fight back, but they lose by 5 in the combat res, so they too were broken. Thanks, Swooping Hawks. Told you I'd need them. Anyway, on to turn 4, we win again initiative, but fail to receive our orders. So that's the rub there. You can win initiative, but you still, unless you're Space Marines, if you're trying to do anything, you still have to take a test with a die roll. But anyway, so we failed to receive the orders. I was basically going to open up on those guys right there next to me. And so when you fail initiative, you can either choose to shoot or move away. I chose to shoot and brace for impact. Basically just stand. I wasn't going to move away right then. It's turn 4, I can still kill some of these guys before I have to leave. The tank's right there, you know where it is. Anyways, the new mob with the Scorcher tank come in. We fire first, then Overwatch as the Orks come in. And that blunted the assault for the Orks. It was a pretty good move for my part, for being an Eldar player. Knowing that they were gonna, I still failed my order, but those guys were on Overwatch. So when the assault came in, I just popped off the Overwatch, and they got to get all those free shots before the guys even came into assault, which is it's a nice tactic, especially in this game when combat res is one of those things you need. And they basically, because of that, they came into the assault with blast markers, which is something else you don't want to happen. And when we fire first in Overwatch, the Orks come in. They too were broken. That's another success story for the Eldar. And we go to turn 5. It's now time to start getting the hell out of there, right? So yeah, the Eldar have finally failed initiative. The Orks bring on what would be the last mob, and these guys are coming in from my leftish kind of flank over by mixed unit B. With the Farseer. The Orks finally start killing Eldar, so it's time to start heading back to the gate. And so that's what I started doing. You can't really engage Orks when it gets down to that way, especially when you're trying to get something done. I'm trying to get the hell out of there. The Orks are just going to keep coming. We decided not to use points for this scenario because it's just a breakout. Just want to see how long we could have some Eldar last in just a constant gunfight. And as you can see from this bat rep, we were successful, and it's a great thing if you're Eldar in that game. Anyway, that's about the end of that. There's going to be more bat reps coming. Definitely epic. Going to do some Space Marine things going on here. I just painted a new attachment for my army, so I want to try those guys out pretty soon. I'm going to call it Fun with Infiltrators. That's what I'm going to call it. I'm going to coin the term now, the name, whatever. So I'll see you later, jerks.